Talk some slam ball. We opened up the mailbag and more. It's on Southern Sports Now. Happy Friday. Welcome into Southern Sports Now. I'm Chase Robinson. Hope you're having a great Friday as we get ready to head into the weekend. We got a lot to discuss. We'll put kind of a bow on SEC Media Days. The media gets to put together a preseason poll every year that came out earlier today. We'll dive into that. I'll show you my ballot of who I voted for coming up as well. But as always, we got to start out with our countdowns to football as we are inching our way closer and closer to kicking off. And 36 days away from college football as Week 0 is August the 26th. That is the day Jacksonville State will make their FBS debut, Conference USA debut, as they'll take on conference opponent UTEP there to start the season off. Week 0, August 26th, and that is 36 days away from college football kicking off. There will be 10 games that day on Week 0. Also, Week 0 for high school football is Thursday, August the 24th, and we are 34 days away from the high school football season. And again, there'll be a number of games on that Thursday, but then, of course, a ton of games on Friday night there to start the high school football season. But Thursday, August 24th, is Week 0 of the high school football season. So we're getting close to high school football, and next week we got some high school football media days that we'll be at to bring you coverage of, and then the countdown will be on as teams will start practicing in the next week or so, probably the following week. Some will start next week if they didn't take any time in the spring, but the rest will start the following week, and then we'll get ready to go, kick this thing off for 2023. Kind of moving away from football for just a minute, we talked with Cam Horton of Jacksonville High School a couple of weeks ago. He, of course, played his high school ball at Jacksonville, went on, made a couple stops in college, finished up at Life University last year, but he's had a cool opportunity to go play slam ball, and the slam ball season starts today. This cool little hype video they have, if that doesn't get you ready for some slam ball tonight on ESPN, I don't know what would, but it's as you see, I mean, this is not just basketball. This is a mix of football and basketball as the kind of, I think it's 15 feet of court and the rest is trampolines. And so this is a really cool sport, but as you see, not a lot of fouls called. It's wide open, and they're slamming into the wall. It's like kind of reminds me of hockey as well. They do like the hockey substitutions where there's no whistle blowing and going. No, you just jump in and somebody comes out and they're slamming people against walls. It's going to be a lot of fun. But 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN, you could watch the Mob. That's the team Cam Horton's on. You'll see the Mob take on the Rumble. Now, the Rumble's coach, if you've ever seen the movie Coach Carter, Coach Carter, the real, not Samuel L. Jackson who plays Coach Carter in the movie, the actual Coach Carter is the coach of the Rumble. So he'll be facing off against the Coach Carter there. But Cam Horton with the Mob, and again, they play at 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN for the first game of the Slam Ball League as it is making its return. It was the early 2000s the last time we saw Slam Ball on TV. But it is back starting tonight. So watch it and cheer on the only slam ball player ever from Alabama. It's right here in Jacksonville, Cam Horton. That's cool to see him do that. But we'll be keeping an eye on him as he goes through that season over the next couple of months. We will jump to a break here. We will dive into that mailbag as we do every Friday, coming up next here on Southern Sports Now.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
EAN Sports is proud to bring you the best, most informative local sports content and we want your help to be able to do that. If you have a story idea, a tip for our sportscast, or even a highlight clip you want to see on EAN Local Sports, send us an email, eansports23@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter @EAN_sports, or you can send it to the EAN News Facebook page. EAN Sports, bringing you the local sports happening in your community.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
You see some interesting weather phenomenon in your backyard here in East Alabama, send that to us. We would love to hear from you. Send that to us at the email address you see on your screen or through Facebook at EAN News.
Ted's Floors and Beyond brings you Southern Sports Now. They are your destination for all things flooring. They've got all you need in hardwood, laminate, carpet, luxury vinyl, tile. But they have a partnership with Welborn Cabinet now, and they can offer you a complete kitchen or bath makeover. So if you need cabinets or countertops, flooring, backsplashes, and tile showers, Ted's is where you need to go. And they have always offer 0% interest financing for 12 months and free in-home estimates. They've got a lifetime warranty on flooring installation. They're locally owned and operated. When you go in the store, they have got folks who are there and ready to help you pick out what you need, what you want, and make sure that they get it done right for you. So Ted's Floors and Beyond right there on Highway 431 in Anniston, right before you get to Sachs Elementary School. And they are online, shopteds.com. That is shopteds.com. We appreciate Ted's Floors and Beyond for bringing you Southern Sports Now. It's time to open up that mailbag as we do every single Friday, and so we're going to dive into it here. I want to remind you, though, get the questions in. You can do that all week. It's not something you just do on Fridays. You can get questions into us all week, and you can do that by emailing us, eansports23@gmail.com, on Facebook, on the East Alabama Now Facebook page, and on Twitter @EAN_sports. Those are the best ways to send us, or you can drop them on our video, on our live video. You can drop it in the comments, and we'll answer them every Friday. We got two very good questions today, and we'll start with the first one. Will Florida State be the surprise team in the ACC this year? This is a really good question, and I wrote some notes down about the Florida State here because this is a really fascinating team. You asked me this question 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said absolutely not. Florida State's one of the worst teams in college football. Jacksonville State went down and beat Florida State, and that was not a good Jacksonville State team that beat Florida State down in Tallahassee. But what Mike Norvell has done there is incredible. Listen to this. They returned all 11 all ACC selections. So all their all ACC selections last year coming back. They've got 11 transfers in. Jordan Travis, really good quarterback. He announced back in December, he said, I'm coming back to Florida State next season. So as soon as he said he's coming back, well, so did running back Johnny Wilson. So did wide receiver Trey Benson. Two really good players for Florida State. We'll learn a lot about the Seminoles in week 1. They've got LSU down in Orlando to start the season off. I think week 4 they have Clemson, which will be another big test for them. But I think Florida State is by far the best team in the ACC. I think they'll win the conference. You know, keep in mind this year in the ACC, we'll see the SEC do this next year, no divisions. The ACC, no divisions this year. So it's going to be the top 2 teams in the conference who play for the ACC championship. I imagine that will be Florida State and Clemson playing for the ACC championship. But I think Florida State is far and away the best team in the ACC. And, I don't know if we can necessarily call them a surprise this year because I do think they've got that much talent on the field. And we saw them last year much improved under Mike Norvell. I think they're going to go at it again this year. I think Florida State is going to be really good, and I think they will win the ACC this year. So, yeah, I think they will be a surprise team in the ACC and will be really a really good football team there in Tallahassee. But the tables have turned there for Florida State. Again, a few years ago, the ship was sinking fast, but credit Mike Norvell and able to revive that and get some really good talent in there that has revived the Florida State Seminoles program. And so I've got them winning the ACC this year. And, now with no divisions, it's going to be cool when we get to see like a Florida State-Miami ACC championship. I'm sure we'll see that one day in the future. But I think Florida State is going to be right there at the top of the ACC. Next question, which division of the SEC will we see better football from? This is a good question. For a long time it was the SEC West. We said you see the best football from the SEC West because you got Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn. So kind of the blue bloods of the SEC, if you will. I mean, last year though there was so much excitement about Georgia, about Tennessee. South Carolina turned it on there in the SEC East. But I still have to say that you're going to see the best football in the SEC West because I think it's a little bit more tight in the West. In the East, you've got Georgia. I think they're far and away the top team in the SEC East. Behind that, I think we'll see some really good football, whether it's South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky. But I think on the West, we'll see better games. We'll see better competition. Of course, Alabama, LSU, it's depending on who you ask depending on what answer you get of who's the best team in the West, Alabama or LSU, both really good teams. But then it'll be interesting to see what Mississippi State can do this year, what Auburn can do. Ole Miss has a lot of question marks. So I think we'll see better football once again in the SEC West, but I think the East is going to be really competitive behind Georgia. I don't know who can beat Georgia. Their schedule is probably the easiest you can find, but it'll be interesting to see who falls after Georgia. But I think in the SEC West, it's really a toss-up of who will finish on top, Alabama, LSU, or if someone else is able to come out on top. But I think it'll still stay with the SEC West being the better football there in the SEC. But again, keep in mind, next year, no divisions. It'll just be the top two teams out of the SEC playing for an SEC championship. So that's going to be fun. When that rolls around, of course, we'll see games we haven't seen a lot. And so that should be a lot of fun there in the SEC. But two really good college football questions in our Southern Sports Now mailbag. We do it every Friday, so go ahead and start getting your questions in for next Friday here on Southern Sports Now. We got more SEC football to talk about. We'll look at the preseason poll that put out by the media, and I'll give you my biggest takeaways from SEC Media Days. All that next here on Southern Sports Now.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welberg Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
We continue here on Southern Sports Now. Hope you're having a great Friday, getting ready for the weekend here. And as you know, it's been a couple of days up in Nashville at SEC Media Days. And every year they do a preseason poll that is voted on by credentialed media members. And so I have the privilege to vote in that. But we vote during the week, and on Fridays they release the preseason poll for the SEC voted on by the media. And so they released it earlier today. So let's look at who the media think will finish top in the East and the West in the SEC championship. So the media have it Georgia 1 in the East, Tennessee 2, South Carolina 3, Kentucky 4, Florida 5, Missouri 6, Vanderbilt 7. On the West, they've got Alabama on top, LSU 2nd, Texas A&M 3rd, Ole Miss 4, Arkansas 5, Auburn 6, and Mississippi State 7. And the media voted Georgia as the SEC champion for 2023. So they got Georgia on top of the East, Alabama on top of the West, and I think that was the consensus among most media members. But like I was saying a minute ago, on the West, it very well could be LSU 1, Alabama 2, as a lot of people are saying right now. But they got Georgia as the SEC champion, and a lot of folks are saying, could Georgia three-peat as a national champion? Well, I think there's a lot of football to be played before we get there. But this is the SEC preseason media poll. Again, I get to vote on this, and so I want to show you my ballot. I want to be transparent in my ballot. I have some different things that I voted on. So here's mine. My East is very similar to the poll that came out. I've got Georgia 1. I've got South Carolina 2. I really like the Gamecocks and Shane Beamer. If Spencer Rattler can play like he did at the last 4 games of last season, then South Carolina is going to be dangerous this year. So I've got them 2. I got Tennessee 3. So really the only difference in mine in the SECs is Tennessee and South Carolina. I swapped those. Then Kentucky, Florida, Missouri, and Vanderbilt. Now my West is completely different. I got Alabama 1. I got LSU 2. They had Texas A&M 3, which is bizarre to me. I've got them 7th because it's Texas A&M, and Jimbo Fisher's a fraud. And so I've got Ole Miss 3. I've got Auburn 4 because I like Hugh Freeze and what he and kind of the culture that he's building. Yes, there's a lot of new players, but I think and I'll be honest with you, I think it may take 2 or 3 weeks for Auburn to look good, but I think they have a potential to put a good product on the field this year. I got Mississippi State 5. Mississippi State is a team that the SEC in the media poll had Mississippi State at 7. I think this is a really dangerous team this year. I like what Zach Arnett is bringing, and I know they're going to be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, playing for Mike Leach, as they should. But Zach Arnett is a sharp coach. Their defense is going to be really good. A lot of guys back on defense. Will Rogers is a fantastic quarterback. I think Mississippi State's going to surprise some people and win some big games this year. So I put State there at 5. I got Arkansas at 6 because I feel like they've got a lot of talent back. They got Rocket Sanders back. They got KJ Jefferson back, but there's not a lot of depth. If one of those 2 guys gets hurt, which KJ Jefferson did last year and missed several weeks, and Arkansas looked like a totally different team. So they don't have a lot of depth, and they didn't work on that a lot in the offseason. I got Arkansas 6. I just don't have a lot of faith in Arkansas that if if some trials come their way, I don't think they'll be the same Arkansas team. And so I got them at 6, and then I got Texas A&M at 7. I'm going to have to see them do big things this year in order for me to not think they're the worst in the SEC, because they showed us last year that they were the complete worst in the SEC. Jimbo is $70-something million buyout that they'll buy him out in a heartbeat at the end of this season if he has a season like he did a year ago. He's brought in Bobby Petrino as the offensive coordinator, which is also very bizarre. Those two guys working together. And he did not like taking questions about Bobby Petrino at media days, which also is a head scratcher. He got very irritated when people were asking him about his offensive coordinator. But I got Texas A&M 7. But again, they're going to have to win some games and not get beat by a team like Appalachian State this year for me to think any high of Texas A&M. But I got Alabama as the SEC champion. I think this is Alabama's year to do that. And it's interesting. You kind of get a read on how Alabama is going to be by how Nick Saban is at SEC Media Days. And this year he was very laid back, relaxed, telling stories, kind of having a good time, and so that makes me think that he is comfortable with his team right now, and Alabama could be pretty dangerous this year, and I think they will be. As several of the guys commented at Media Days, they watched that national championship game saying, we should have been there. And they're going to come out ready to go this season. I like Alabama winning the SEC. But that was my ballot compared to the SEC media poll, or the preseason poll that came out today. I've got some takeaways from SEC Media Days. As I think back over the 2 days I was there, and then the other 2 days that I watched all the press conferences from and watched some content there from Nashville, I got some takeaways that I want to hit on right now with the biggest takeaways to me from SEC Media Days. The first is there's so many unknowns with every team. And you could say this every year, but I think this year more than ever, and I think it's going to be this way from now on, because of things like the transfer portal. I mean, it's hard to even, know who's on the roster, really. I mean, like Auburn, 42 new players. Alabama brought in a bunch out of the transfer portal. And so it's kind of hard to keep up with who's on whose team now. You have that problem when you look at the NFL or in the NBA, guys changing around every year. Well, that's come down to college football now. And so there's unknowns on every team. There's question marks on every team. There's a lot of teams who are dealing with, who's going to be the starting quarterback? You get that question with a lot of teams. Or, what kind of depth do they have? Or how's the new coach going to be? There's just so many unknowns with every team in the SEC this year. And I don't think we've had a year like that where you could say, I'm not really sure how this is going to go. Florida comes to my mind. There's so many question marks on Florida. They could go 9-3, or they could go 3-9. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, there's no way to tell at this point until we see them on practicing and as they take the field. So I just think there's so many question marks with every team this year in the SEC. Another takeaway that I came out of is every team feels disrespected. And, Georgia players and Kirby were up there saying they feel disrespected. I don't understand that. I mean, they won 2 straight national championships. I don't know how they could feel disrespected. Alabama feels disrespected by the media and by people. And I feel like every team, I heard every coach and every player say that at least once, I think, except for Tennessee. I don't remember Josh Heupel saying anything about being disrespected, but I think every other team there said they feel disrespected. And so that was a takeaway for me, that somehow every team feels disrespected when you play in the best conference in college football. I don't understand that. Another takeaway of mine, could this be the year of the quarterbacks in the SEC? And I very well think it could, because you think of a guy like Will Rogers, who I just talked about in Mississippi State. He's going to be kind of the face of the Bulldogs this year. You got, of course, Alabama and Auburn are kind of in quarterback battles. Alabama more so than Auburn. Peyton Thorne coming into Auburn. He'll most likely be the starter. But then you've got like Devin Leary from Kentucky. A lot of folks are high on him. Spencer Rattler at South Carolina. And I know the quarterback gets more attention because they're kind of the leader of the field, if you will. But I think this year more than ever, the talent at the quarterback position in the SEC is phenomenal. There's some really good quarterbacks and we'll see quite a few of them go on to play in the NFL. And even the younger ones that are just coming in, I think we'll be able to move on. You know, you can't say every year that every quarterback is going to go to the NFL. I forgot to mention Jaden Daniels too, probably the best in the SEC from LSU there. But I think all these quarterbacks in the SEC, minus Vanderbilt's and Missouri's, I don't really count them, but all the rest of them definitely can and probably will play in the NFL, and you rarely see that. But I think it could be the year of the quarterbacks in the SEC. So that was another takeaway of mine this week, hearing the coaches and the players there at SEC Media Days. But a great week as always, and I've been privileged to go to Media Days for several years now, probably the last 7 years, and so it's always fun to see friends there in the media and listen to these coaches. And man, I'm fired up for some SEC football now, as I know you are too. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. We will wrap this thing up. I talked some Braves baseball. They got a win yesterday. We'll talk about it next here on Southern Sports Now.
Here at Ted's, we are excited to now be offering custom-made cabinets. With that in mind, we're changing our name to Ted's Floors and Beyond. The Beyond is going to encompass everything that we offer in addition to all of your flooring needs.
We've partnered with Welber Cabinet Company, who makes the highest quality cabinets in the industry.
So when you're ready for a complete kitchen or bathroom remodel, shop Ted's.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brodney Sneed from both CARES and Direct Primary Care. Direct Primary Care is an exciting new model of medical care growing on both the East and West Coast. It's been recommended by Forbes and the American Academy of Family Physicians and others for individuals or small businesses with or without health insurance. The pure simplicity of a membership model streamlines the burden of medical care. It eliminates 60% of the overhead. That streamlining allows providers time to focus on patients with free, no copay, no deductible, unhurried office visits or telehealth visits with minimal waiting room time. It produces same or next day appointments and access by text or telephone during and after hours. It saves you from leaving work, wasting time and getting exposed in a waiting room, and the convenience and cost with barriers removed helps one avoid letting problems like a sore throat turn into an expensive ER or hospital visit for pneumonia. If you're interested, search the web for CARES Direct Primary Care.
We are back here on Southern Sports Now on this Friday, and we were talking to Braves baseball yesterday, and as the show was on live yesterday afternoon, the Braves were actually playing, and they wrapped up not long after we went off of our live stream. But the Braves ended up winning yesterday, 7-5 over Arizona in a big comeback win. It was 5-1 in the 7th inning, and the Braves put together some runs there in the 8th and the 9th, and were able to get the 7-5 win to break that 4-game losing streak they had. And so the Braves now enter a road trip. They go up to Milwaukee starting tonight for 3 games with the Brewers, and then they go to Boston for 2 games there in Fenway for a couple of midweek games for returning home. But Austin Riley's hot right now. 4 home runs in the last 3 games. How about that for Austin Riley, who's he had a really good start. He kind of plateaued. Now he's playing really good baseball. And I love Austin Riley, and glad to see him playing well. But You got Mike Soroka on the mound tonight for the Bravos as they're in Milwaukee for a 7:10 first pitch. But I'm interested to see how the lineup goes or how the rotation goes with Soroka tonight. They are yet to announce the starters moving forward. Spencer Strider pitched an excellent game yesterday there in the finale out in Arizona. But looking forward to this Milwaukee series. And, this is one the Braves can kind of get themselves back on track by winning this series and then getting the Boston series, which I think are both very winnable series for the Braves. The Brewers do sit atop the National League Central. They're a good baseball team, but, I like the Braves and where they sit right now. Even with the 4 straight losses, the Braves are still the best team in baseball, and I think after that win yesterday, get a little momentum. I think we'll see that for sure from the Atlanta Braves. You can watch the Braves this weekend take on the Brewers. They're Bally Sports tonight. You'll see it 7:10 first pitch again there for the Braves and the Brewers. I want to remind you, we mentioned this at the top of the show. Check out Slam Ball tonight on ESPN as it features Jacksonville High School's Cam Horton. He'll be playing tonight with the Mob as they play at 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN. So you can check out the Mob tonight, 7 o'clock ESPN. Cam Horton there playing slam ball as it makes its debut tonight. So check it out. Cheer on our local guy there with Cam Horton and the Mob. That is all the time we have for you here on this Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll do it again Monday. Make plans to join us for more Southern Sports Now. Have a good weekend, y'all.